welcome to another episode of Late Night Spaghetti. It's your host with the most. So, Train to Busan.
Mm-hmm.
This movie came out in 2013. Oh no, 2016. Sorry, 2016.
Oh, is it that recent?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's very recent.
That came out a few years ago.
That's a few years ago.
No, I meant like 2007 or something.
No, it seems like it.
Yeah.
So you just watched this movie recently.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it 3 times now. I watched it yesterday. Yeah, well, you liked it, obviously.
Yeah, I had an interesting viewing experience because I was watching it with a friend of mine, and every like 30 minutes or so in the movie, another friend of ours would come over, and so by the end of the movie, we all formed like a big group, and within like the last 10 minutes, another friend came in, and everyone was into it. Even the guy who saw the last 10 minutes, he was like in tears. So yeah, this movie's quite an experience.
Yeah, this movie's more than a zombie movie.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think this is one of, if not the best zombie movie.
This was my favorite zombie movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, it surpasses a zombie movie. It's there's just, the characters are greater than anything. And it's just so in depth, and like everything that's in the beginning gets brought back in the end.
Yeah, there's a lot of setup and
Very
payoff.
emotional movie.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of setup and payoff. It's funny, it's entertaining, it's creepy. Like there's genuine moments of shock and panic.
The tension's very.
Oh yeah.
Very well done. It's very high stakes.
Everything's executed perfectly. This is some of my favorite shots in movie history. Like some of the stills in this movie are just incredible.
Yeah.
And I was digging the whole thing. Yeah, all the characters are really great. No one's like one-dimensional. Like the main character has an interesting, good arc, and like all just the side characters that hang out with them, they're all interesting and entertaining. They don't have a lot to do, but it's fun watching them.
So yeah, I watched this yesterday for the 3rd time, and I showed it to my dad, and so the movie ends, and and you know how it ends. It ends with the girl and she's singing the song.
Mm-hmm.
And the very last shot is like her like looking up at the guys running up to them. So my mom comes downstairs and she's like, "What are you guys watching?" And I was like, "Oh, we're watching. I'm showing Dad Train to Busan." And then she goes, "Okay, what's it about?" And my dad gets up and walks over to the kitchen, and he starts to try to explain, and I was like, "That's weird." And I walk over and my dad's crying.
Are you serious?
Yeah, my dad cried. I have never, once in my entire life, seen my dad cry, and my dad cried.
That's amazing. Yeah. When I was showing it to my
friends,
friends,
to me, and he's just super red and just like tears.
I don't want to see your dad cry.
Yeah,
That's
it put me in
sad.
such a weird mood.
Oh man, like I would. Yeah, this movie's emotional. Like it gets to a point near the end where it just starts reaching into your heart and just crushes it and tears it out and throws it down a flight of stairs and then pisses on it and then stomps on it some more. That's what the movie does to you, and it's amazing. And so we were watching it. All my friends and I were watching it because I picked it out. I showed them. I was like, "Yeah, I got to do this for a review." And it gets to that scene, and my friend is crying, and he just goes, "John, you're fucking sick." Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, this movie's really depressing too. Every single just like horrible moment, my dad was like, "This is just one thing after another. This is so sad."
But it's still really entertaining. It's just that you care.
Yeah.
You care so much about every single character.
Yeah.
It's really entertaining. Like I highly recommend this to like just any. I would recommend this to anybody. I think anyone can get into this movie. I think it's so fun. It's a good zombie movie. It's a good horror movie. It's a good just like fun, entertaining like action flick. It's and like you said, it's really emotional.
It's
it's great.
really good, like. It feels like a mainstream movie. Like it's not like super artsy or anything.
Some of the shots though are like very art. It's like filmed like kind of like an anime. Like there's lots of shots.
Yeah, well,
like,
actually,
like
the director has only made animes
really?
Before that movie. Yeah,
it really shows.
He's only made anime, and apparently there's an anime movie that came out a month after, and it's the prequel to that movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's about like the very start of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll have to check that out. But they're also making a sequel.
Are you sure it's not just an American remake?
No, it's a sequel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a confirmed sequel.
Okay.
But yeah, this movie's like one of the highest grossing films in
Korea.
In Korea, yeah. It had like the highest ticket sales, or not ticket sales, but like viewers. So I guess ticket sales. I don't know. But I think I'm assuming it just got big in America when it went on Netflix.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first time I saw it, I was scrolling through Netflix, and I saw it, and I think I was hanging out with a friend, and we didn't know what to watch, and I was like, oh, just throw this. This looks dumb. I'll throw it on. And it ended, and we're both like, wow, that was really good.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I think I remember you told me about it like right when we first started becoming friends, and I remember that must have been like right after it came out. So I remember hearing it from you, and then all of a sudden I just saw it, and like all over my news feed everywhere I just saw that there was such a hype around this movie, and it's on all these lists of like most underrated or like best biggest like Netflix gold films that no one knows about. Like just check this out, or like best foreign films or anything like that. Yeah, this movie's amazing.
This movie got nominated for a bunch of awards at the Asian Film Festival.
Really?
Yeah. For like acting.
Yeah, the acting's really good.
The acting's really good.
Most Asian cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little. The little girl's amazing. Oh, you know who else is really good? I thought this was. I don't know if this is the same guy. I think it's the same guy as in Doctor Strange. You know, Doctor Strange, like little other sidekick guy. Is it not him?
It's not. No.
I didn't want to say that it.
That's an American actor.
Okay, I didn't want to accidentally say. Oh, no, he looks like the guy.
I thought it was too.
They do look very similar.
Because I like probably a year ago, or I think it was when Annihilation came out. Because that guy is in Annihilation that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I remember like I think that guy's in Train to Busan. And Ricky's like, yeah, that guy's in Doctor Strange.
Well, because in the
and then when I saw it yesterday, I was like, oh, that's not him.
In Train to Busan, so he plays this guy who's just like this ripped dude. He just completely fights the zombies, like punches them in the face. And
he's like
awesome.
kind of a comedic character.
Yeah, but he's really great.
Oh.
Like he's going around saving everybody. Like he's everyone's hero. So like it's great watching him and watch him just punch zombies in the face and flip them over people while the main character can barely fight off one.
Yeah.
It's great.
So yeah, this is definitely one of the best zombie movies, I think, and it's definitely my favorite. 28 Days Later is up there. You haven't seen that, huh?
I haven't.
That movie's pretty rad.
Alright, cool.
Danny Boyle directed that.
I don't know Danny Boyle.
But that's like it has like this early 2000s feel to it, which is when it came out. I think it came out in like
that
2000.
was like the birth of digital and how like cheap it was to make movies. Like in some of the wide shots. We're talking about a completely different movie now, but yeah, that's like the early days of digital.
Yeah. But yeah, Train to Busan, like just like bad CGI, but like
it's kind of
it's very
but
it adds to it.
Yeah.
Did you notice the very first time I watched it, the first thing I noticed was the what is it? The triadic color palette. The red, yellow, and blue.
Yeah,
did you notice that?
Yeah, you had told me about it, that this was one of the very few movies, because no movies use this color palette.
Yeah, it's really hard to pull off. Usually they do it in like cartoons and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching it with my friends, we all thought it was just gorgeous. Like the
color
good. Palette of this movie is mostly just a bunch of red and blue. So like in every single, like everyone's wearing blue, but it's a lighter blue, and then everything else is like layered yellow underneath. There's lots of like yellow lines. Yeah, it's really gorgeous. Like this movie's beautiful.
Yeah.
One thing I also like is that when the zombie outbreak is starting, it's super, super quiet. Like, no one is even comprehending that anything is happening. Like, even when it actually starts, when they're getting on the train, it's just, like, happening, like, upstairs. And the person, like, just kind of, the one infected person, like, gets on.
I don't think it is upstairs, the train.
No, the train's downstairs, but the outbreak is happening upstairs. Like, you see everyone upstairs. There's, like, a quick shot.
Right when the train takes off.
Yeah,
and then talking about upstairs of the train.
And the only person looking at anything is the little girl, and so she looks, and the little girl literally sees a zombie just tackle somebody.
Yeah.
And no one comprehends it. It's not until the train. It's literally like they don't hear about the outbreak until like the one infected person that jumps on becomes a zombie and infects one person.
Yeah.
And it like all grows from one cart to another.
There's a lot of cool like ways to show that that something's going on, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you have the deer at the beginning, but then you see him, he's on the computer, like, the very first scene with, I don't even know his name, the main character, he's on the computer, he just sees this thing, like, the fish in the lake or whatever, like, the local lake are all dying from some disease, and just, like, little stuff like that, but it doesn't, like, it's not, like, in your face, it kind of is, but... And then they're all on the train and they see it on the TVs in the train.
Yeah, it's like quiet but loud.
It's saying a lot,
but it's also
anything.
It's saying a lot, but it just says nothing at the same time. Doors are like unstoppable in this movie. There's a lot of times where they're like about to close the door. But then again, they break a lot of doors. They break a lot of doors. There's like a 40% success rate, but there's always a sequence where they shut the door and then one zombie gets in the way and everyone else has to help push that. That happens like 10 times.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing. It's just like
they so I didn't really get
second.
It's the dad's company or the company he works for that started the whole outbreak?
I wasn't catching on to that.
You remember when he's in the bathroom towards the end of the movie and he's talking, you remember he keeps calling that guy and then he calls somebody and then the guy's like crying and he's like, it's our fault, like.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, it's not clear, but it's heavily implied that. Yeah. Because I don't really understand what company he works for.
He's a fund manager. That's what his daughter says.
It's a what?
He's a fund manager.
Okay.
Not a fund manager. He manages fund.
Yeah, it's heavily implied that their company started the outbreak.
Yeah.
The daughter is really great. She's like super upfront with everyone about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, her little sassy remarks. It's great.
Yeah, like the big buff dude when he's like telling her.
Yeah.
Like, I made that. Like, pointing at his wife's
I thought that was hilarious.
Belly. I made that to this like 5-year-old girl. You see that? I made that.
And there's the one.
She's like hitting him.
The worst character, the one you're supposed to hate, I guess, is just that one douchebag Asian guy. That's
douchebag. They're all Asian, bro. They're all Korean.
But this is the douchebag Asian guy.
Okay.
He throws everyone at the zombies and he like locks the door on him and he even goes up to a little girl and like points at the homeless guy and he's like, yeah, that person didn't get a good education, you'll end up like that.
Yeah.
And the girl's like, well, anyone who says that's a bad person. And it's really great.
Does the little girl say that?
Yeah, the little girl goes, well, and my mom says that anyone who says that is a bad person.
Yeah.
And he just laughs. And he goes, yeah, your mom probably wasn't educated.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she probably didn't go to school or something like that. Alright.
Yeah, this movie's sick. There's one shot I really, really like where there's the little girl gets like a snowflake on her hand, but it ends up being ash. Like she rubs it and it's just ash. And then the camera like moves out and it's just on their car reflector window. And you see the two characters sitting there staring at the burnt building, but you can only see the burnt building through the reflection.
Yeah.
It's sick.
Yeah, see, little stuff like that is just like throughout the movie. He's like, oh, I wonder what's going on.
Yeah.
There's just so many like little aspects of this movie that are so good.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on, and it's all pulled off.
Yeah, there's a little bit of character setup, and then like this movie just starts moving, and it's never boring. Like there's just sequence after sequence after sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they find out they have to go to Busan, and Will Smith shows up and says, "What is this? Some kind of train to Busan?"
What, we some kind of suicide squad?
Yeah, so watch this movie if you haven't seen it.
This movie's a 10 out of 10.
Oh, and I know we're at the end of the video, but don't watch this video if you haven't seen it. Watch the movie first. And if you don't care, if you don't want to watch the movie, then go ahead and keep watching this. Or just don't watch our videos.
We only spoiled a little, but check this movie out for sure.
Okay, signing off, goodbye.
Do you know how to turn the camera off?